Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. Happy Monday. We are live. I will say I'm not going to be live tomorrow. My fiance Alex and we got to do some wedding food tasting. Unless there's some breaking news, then Jeremy Chugs, he's got you covered. But on tap for today, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to discuss everything that happened today at Raiders training camp. If anybody wants to get any of those questions up here on the show, use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat because a lot of stuff over the weekend happened. Gardner Minshew had a great day. Had a good day on Saturday. Aidan really struggled during that scrimmage. But today, Aidan was the clear winner. Gardner started off a little bit slow, did get it going at the end of practice, which, you know, if you're going to start out slow and then you can figure it out later, it's something that you want to see. A really unfortunate injury happened today. Jeff Foreman, UDFA receiver, he was carted off with a knee injury. Still don't really have much of an update on that. But if you have not already subscribed to the Raiders Report, make sure that you do. We got videos coming out every single day, and we're going to go live multiple times a week, especially during the season. I'm going to be live on Thursday for Raiders Friday happy hour, Thursday happy hour. Chugs and I are off on Friday, and then we're going to be here Raiders game day up against the Vikings. If you're ready to see the Raiders play a preseason game, can I get some me's down below in the comments section? Who's rocking with me here today on Monday? Another story that we're going to do today is some rumors around DJ Glaze, Ja'Cory, and Bennett. We're going to talk about Christian Wilkerson. He's somebody that needs to be brought up. But our August bang race, Ed Robbins right now, he's in the lead with 6, followed by Noah Santana, Yoda Jenkins, Jamari, Angel, and then Jason Gutierrez all tied with 1 bang. Reminder, whoever bangs the most in the month of August, we're going to send you an August Raiders Report MVP jersey. Now, I've been telling y'all, hey, ask me some questions on social media. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365, literally everywhere. And I got this one from PJM_75. It is, who is going to break out this year and who is going to disappoint? I'm going to really just focus on the breakout section of this. So if you guys want, let me know down below a player that you think is going to break out. I see G Money rocking with me, Raider Prime. What's up, Dylan, King Shav, Electric Sports. Good to see all of y'all. One player that I think could potentially break out, and, you know, Max Crosby said Ja'Cory and Bennett. That's a little bit of a stretch for me because when I think of breakout, I'm thinking best year of their career. Like somebody that you know for a fact at that end of the season, you're like, something like what Malcolm Kuntz did a little bit last season. Something like what Robert Spillane did. A player that I think could really, truly break out this year for the Raiders is Jack Jones. I mean, you've seen the reports out of training camp that they're using him on defense. He was kicking the football today on kick return. He had a punt return or a kick return touchdown over the weekend. He is one of those dudes that when he's in the right headspace, and every time he's been with Antonio Pierce, he's been in that right headspace. He's got that swagger with this defense that we have here. I'm really curious to see if Jack Jones takes that step and he's like one of the best corners in the NFL. Because, I mean, when he was on last season, this is really when I think the Raiders took that next step, right? Like Antonio Pierce being the interim was one thing. Brought in Jack Jones, and then that also really helped change this defense quite a bit. Yeah. What's up, Chugs? What do you got? Give me a breakout.
You already know who it is for me.
Yeah?
And if you've been watching the show,
okay.
If you know ball like I do, I know who I'm about to say.
I didn't take if you go with the answer that I think you're going to go with, I didn't say it because I thought you were going to say it.
Tyree Wilson.
Yep. I got you there. Dude, he looked good over the weekend.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, he looked really good this weekend.
Don't be surprised, and I want you to at me at the end of the season whenever Tyree Wilson is second on the team in sacks.
Ooh, that's a bold take. I mean, that's a bold one. Behind Max, obviously, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Max and then Tyree.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
If Tyree Wilson is second on this team in sacks, we're no doubt the best team in the NFL.
I'm telling you. Tyree Wilson, from the interior, because there's going to be so much focus on everybody else, he's going to be allowed to eat, and I think him playing at the 3 technique next to Christian Wilkins, who's going to eat up so many blocks on the interior, he's going to go off.
I mean, I like the Tyree Wilson take because I think that he's going to see more one-on-ones than just about any of our star-studded defensive linemen, right? Like, think about Max, double teams. Christian Wilkins, double teams. I think John Jenkins, Adam Butler are going to see a double team over Tyree Wilson. Malcolm Kuntz, like, anytime that there's an defensive lineman and Tyree's on the field, I think he's going to be the dude getting one-on-ones, which that's going to result to more production down the road. Now, today's show sponsor, major shout out to GameTime. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. If you haven't already downloaded the GameTime app, personally, I think then you're just a Chiefs fan. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I love the all-in prices, the seat views, the lowest price guaranteed, or GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. We've been buying tickets with them for a while, and I really actually mean this. Like, if you're in Vegas and, when I go out to Vegas, I don't want to play in anything. Right? Like, I want to have an open calendar to do whatever the hell I want just in case we want to do anything because there's a lot of stuff to do out in Vegas. You go to Vegas, you have an empty itinerary, go on the GameTime app, see what tickets you can get them at the last minute, and you're going to have a hell of a weekend.
And I'm telling you this right now. You know who doesn't use GameTime? John Gruden.
Yeah, dude.
No way John Gruden uses GameTime.
I hope Gruden was at Chiefs practice only for advice on what Kansas City should do in the first round of the draft.
First reaction when you saw that video on Twitter, what was your first thought that went in your head?
Are you kidding me right now?
Are you sure?
And I know
we don't
Andy
get to go
Reid,
on the boat. We're leaving the house.
King Shop
Derek
says,
is selling it.
I love GameTime. I mean, what was your one-word reaction when you saw John Gruden in Chiefs gear at Chiefs practice? And, I get the fact that Gruden and Andy Reid, they've actually worked on staffs together. They are friends, okay? But for Gruden, somebody who's said that he's a Raider, that's been something that he has said before. Also, for just the whole way that everything went down with the 10-year, $100 million contract, and I'm not going to blame Gruden for trying to get a job, right? I mean, Gruden's kid's still working for the Raiders anyway. But, me as a Raiders fan, I hate it when people are like, oh, Mitch, you're overreacting. He's just trying to get his job. No disrespect. I don't really feel bad for a guy who did sign a 10-year, $100 million contract that was fully guaranteed, and now he's still looking for work. I hope when I'm 60, 70, I'm still looking for work too, but I'm also allowed to feel a type of way that you go from being a Raider and now you're working with the Chiefs. That could be a competitive advantage. I don't know.
It's literally like you go out to the bar and you see one of your homies shacking up with your ex. You're like,
I
are you
felt some
shitting
type
me right
of way.
now?
Yeah, and that was it. I don't care. I don't want John Gruden back. I don't think that he was a good head coach. I think that the NFL has passed him by and he's still living back in the early 2000s. So, maybe you're not really able to do all that much. Or maybe he doesn't have all that much to say. But, the only reason why, again, I get a little bit hesitant on it is because it kind of reminds me of what Antonio Pierce is doing right now with Marvin Lewis. Letting a guy like a Richie Incognito come in. When you get outside voices, sometimes that's just a fresh thing to hear. And Gruden, I don't think that he's got much of a football mind anymore. You got to give Gruden one credit. He can fire up a team. He could fire up a team, and that's why I was I didn't like it. I felt like it was a traitor move. I really did. Victoria B says sellout.
Spin zone. Did the Chiefs do this because they're afraid of the Raiders now?
I'll say this. I saw some Chiefs fan earlier here in the comments, and anytime you ever see a Chiefs fan on this show, just give them an FKC. It'll drown them on out. But, multiple Chiefs players have said that Raiders game woke them up. And the Raiders are going to be a physical team. Antonio Pierce has said it. We might not be the team that's going to put up a lot of points, and we're not going to win every football game, but I guarantee you when you're done playing that game, you will know that you played the Raiders. It's going to be a physical game. We're going to go back in time, and it's going to be lots
remember
and
the
lots.
night that they played the Raiders.
Exactly. Dude. Antonio Pierce fires me up, man. Let's go to King Shab. What's up, Shab? Jeremy Chugs. How was WWE SummerSlam and WWE Friday Night SmackDown?
SummerSlam?
I have no idea.
Which Smitty, I know Smitty's out there. SummerSlam went crazy, bro. Dirty Dom ended up turning on Mommy, going to Live.
She was crazy.
We called it.
Nuts. We did call it, though. We did call it.
But your Team Live got a big dub. Dominic turned on Rhea Ripley. threw a chair in there, and then Liv ended up hitting her in the face with the chair, and she ended up winning the title. Roman Reigns came back to acknowledge him.
Absolutely. Acknowledge your tribal chief.
My tribal chief. He showed up at the very end. It was absolutely
How many people
insane.
have no idea what they're talking about? If you have no idea, type me down below.
I bet you're going to get more people know it.
Yeah,
You think?
Did
you watch Why Free? How about that? Did you watch Why Free SN for No? 'Cause I didn't.
The Venn diagram of WWE fans and Raider fans is just a circle.
Oh, really? I disagree. I really do not watch a lot of WWE. Luckily, Chugs does. We got 400 people here watching the Raiders Report right now. If you haven't already,
it's what the people want to know.
Make sure you click that like button. Please, please, please. It does help us out a lot. Let's go to, I've actually never heard of this guy. It's Rebel Montana. Who should be starting quarterback? Do the preseason games coming up would determine that? I do think that the preseason performances, if it was up to me, I think that the way that Aidan or Gardner play in the preseason is more impactful, more important than the practice game. So my question to you is, let's just say the final evaluation comes down. If you think that practice is more important, so, the Raiders doing training camp, everything, or those preseason games is more important, type P for practice, type PG for preseason games. Which one do you think is more important? I do think preseason games is more important. And the only reason why that I say that is because I want a QB that can go out there and look his best in a game action. And I get it. You have more time at training camp. But also, this battle is so close. To me, the battle is so close that the only way that you're going to be able to break the tie is in a preseason game.
It's going to sound weird. I think it should be practice. Because I think, what you do in practice, what you do in the,
It's a lot more reps, bigger sample size.
Well, not only just on the practice field, but like in the, in the meeting rooms, what you're doing behind the scenes, all of that. Luke Getsy, this offensive staff should be really taking that heavily into consideration. Yep. The only thing that's kind of difficult is Raider fans, we don't see all that.
Yeah.
Raider fans only see really small, little bitty portions of practice in the preseason game. So Raider Nation, everybody, they're going to be clamoring based off of those preseason games, which is going to kind of put more of an importance on that for the fan base. But I don't know whether they're going to take that into consideration or go off the larger body of work, which I think is practice.
Yeah, and I think it's also, it depends who you follow. Like, I know one guy who, like Hondo Carpenter, if you follow him, you probably think that Aidan is winning the quarterback battle. If you follow somebody like a Paul Gutierrez has been more on the Gardner Minshew's winning this battle. I'll admit, I think Hondo is probably the only beat reporter out there that's reporting that Aidan was in the lead at some point. Everybody else seems to be kind of reporting that it's Minshew. And then that Saturday scrimmage happened. Minshew took a little bit of a bigger lead. But then after today, Aidan was the better quarterback today. Like, this has been a back and forth quarterback battle that I don't know if we're going to get our answer at training camp.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get our answer, which is why I'm like, Ty goes to the preseason. Does Ty go to the preseason? It's going to be something to watch. But
Ty goes to Mount Raider more.
I'm seeing Victoria B, Electric Sports, looks like Screams 420, said Gardner Minshew is the next snake. I kind of get those vibes, too. I would love that. Ed Robbins is typing PG. Jose Ramirez says practice. What's up, Cass Joey? It's good to see you. Watched it back in the day a lot more than now from Savior. Savior, what do you think? You like it? So coming up here live on today's show, we're going to go through everything that happened at practice today. We got some new Raiders rumors out there just around some of the things that Antonio Pierce has said, around some of the players that are kind of like on the roster bubble is how I would explain it. One of the Raiders captains had a very bold take on a current player. We'll discuss that. We're going to be answering your questions the entire show. # Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line.
We actually don't have a ton of questions in there.
No questions going on right now. And then I owe y'all 100 reverse jumping jacks.
Do you want to spread those out a little bit? Do you want to maybe start off with 25 or?
There's one person now. Can you show the August comment, King?
Of course. That's what I was supposed to show earlier, and I showed the other one on accident.
It's all good. So earlier, last week, I challenged Raider Nation. I said, if one person comments 100 times on our one video where it was the top 10 players that I think could potentially like make the roster that I didn't have in a 53-man. And Noah Santana said, I got you. He commented 115 times. So for those of you that don't know what our August Comment King battle is, whoever the person that comments the most on a single video, you're the August Comment King. Which right now, Noah's got 115 on one video. Jaime's got 76. Voodoo Gunner had 55. Zach Gibbs. If somebody watches a video that I put out on the show and you comment 116 times, you are now the August Comment King. I want to see how many comments somebody drops on a VOD and how high we can get it.
Fuck yeah.
A lot of, I talk with my hands a lot, Chugs, in case you didn't know. I do. How many, I mean, do you talk with your hands?
Of course I do.
I talk a lot with my hands. Let's go to Raphael. What's up, brother? What do running athletes eat? Nothing. They fast. Speaking of fast, how close was that race? The 100-meter with Noah Lyles.
That was insane. Dude, people were mad at the announcer, which it's like, with that, it's like, how are you supposed to know? But, like, the announcer for the first, 30 seconds after the race was like, and the runner from Jamaica gets the gold.
Yeah. Which, if you look at the photo finish, the other racer from the U.S., his foot is actually the furthest across the line.
The best meme picture was the one from Cars, where he's like,
with the tongue? Yeah, I saw that. Which, really accurate.
Kinda.
Is really accurate.
Also,
man.
I was watching this morning before I came into work, bitch. I mean, the women's gymnastics floor routines, insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I was watching some women's gymnastics this morning. Simone Biles could have won. Honestly, should have won. And you only get one routine. If you mess up, that's it. It's the Olympics. She did like a quadruple flip, which is like hard. That's not the name of it, but she did some like crazy flip, which is harder than anything else that anybody did. She landed on the outside though of the square. And she got like a big point deduction for it. She ended up getting no spoilers, but if you want me to tell you, it happened this morning. She got silver.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where when you watch Simone Biles, when you watch some of those athletes, and I'll just continuously say it time and time and time again, the way the Olympics needs to do it is they need to get one regular person. Put one regular person out there. I would do it, bro.
You would.
I can't somersault.
Dude, you would hurt yourself.
Well, maybe the gymnastics portion is not the one to do it.
Dude,
Put me in a swimming pool next to Ledecky. That's something that I would watch.
That's fine. Dude, I was watching the men's rings.
Dude, you can't.
You would tear your shoulder out.
Dude, there's no chance. I would need one of those bungee cords that you step on at the gym to even have a chance.
I'd have to have somebody's dad hold my legs at the bottom.
What's up, Nav man? Good to have you back, bro. I would like to see lots of snaps from Carter Bradley. He seems to be vastly improved since day one. That youngster, like Brock Purdy, that's very, very high praise. I was pretty high on Carter Bradley, too. The problem with this situation is he's just so clearly the quarterback 4 on our team that, if Carter Bradley can't beat out Anthony Brown, no disrespect to Bradley, no disrespect to Anthony Brown, comparing him to Brock Purdy is wild. And maybe someday Bradley ends up making a roster. It's probably not going to be this team, but I do anticipate that we see him. Antonio Pierce said today that you're going to see Gardner Minshew. You're going to see Aidan O'Connell in that first preseason game on Saturday. I don't know exactly how long. I'm going to guess a quarter. Based off of what Antonio Pierce said, based off of the information that I was told in the video that we made probably a month ago, I anticipate all 4 Raiders quarterbacks to play on Saturday and all 4 of them to get a quarter. I'll talk about who I think ends up starting the preseason because I think, again, if you listen to what some of the people are saying, you might be able to connect the dots a little bit, and we'll discuss that. Let's go to Doug's. What's up, Dogs? What's good, Nation? What's good, Dogs? Bro, I got to get you a new hat, though. Can I get you a Mets hat? Can I get you a Mets hat? Would you rock a Mets hat instead of the Yankees one?
Hat.
It hurts me a little bit. Yeah, I'd rather an Astros than a Yankees hat. I would.
Thank you.
Imagine a football Olympics would move mountains.
We were actually talking about this.
I don't think it would.
Well, no, we were talking about it because, Our own Marshall Green, he's a big
football.
flag guy. Flag football is going to be in the Olympics later on, and we were debating on whether or not NFL players would be allowed to do it, or if they would. Two, we were just debating on if any other country even like comes close. If
the answer is going to be no to that, and I think like that's just the truth of it. Where there's not another country in the world. Now there's a lot of other like countries that play football, but like, you know, when I lived in Germany, I had a few of my buddies. They knew that I played baseball, but they played professional football for the Bundesliga. Like when I tell you I was running routes with those guys. Now I was 24 at the time. I was a lot younger. I was in much better shape. I could actually run back then. But like, no, it's not going to happen. Oh shit. No! Suavemente! Bang! What's up, Noah? Noah Santana tying up Ed Robbins now for our August Bang race, which I can't tell you exactly what I'm talking about here, and maybe down the road I can, but we are 3 bangs away from doing something that has never been done before at Chat Sports.
never.
It's never been done before. I'm not saying that it has to happen, but I will say that every single time somebody super chats on this show, it's obviously appreciated. Noah, you've been a legend here for a while, definitely working up the Silver and Black Hills. He's trying to get on Raider more. Personally, that's what I think. But Noah, Ed Robbins, a bunch of the legends out there, like, I promise you this, when we get rolling here during the season and we start doing Thursday night football, when we start doing game day, like this Saturday game day, I hope y'all bring it. I hope you bring the energy. I hope you bring the excitement. I don't know the last time that I was this excited for a Raiders preseason. Like, my honest question to you, okay? When was the last time that you were this excited for a Raiders preseason? Not last season. One the year before that. Like, I've been covering the Raiders here at Chat Sports since 2018. There has never been a preseason that I've been looking forward to more. Like, maybe the 2022 year, but we didn't think that Devontae was going to be playing that year. It's the first year of McDaniels. Now, I didn't believe in McDaniels, but we were excited about that team because of the Devontae Adams trade. It's got to be right now. This preseason, the excitement is unbelievable. Noah, Suavemente, cheers to you, my guy. Cheers to you. What?
We do have one more question before we
Got
get
one
going.
More question before we get into today's show.
And since Noah is here, if you want to maybe start some of those reverse jumping jacks.
Yeah.
Text.
Noah, I got to salute you, man. Over 100 comments on the video. I can't believe it happened. I didn't know if it was going to happen, but I am happy that it happened. Let's go to Big Mike Raider, really another very good content creator. Name 3 players on the Raiders roster that could be traded before week 1. So my question out there to the nation is this. Name a player that could be traded before week 1. Big Mike, you want 3? I'll go with, also, I'm going to do these in 20 and by like 20. The first name I'm going to go with here is Matthew Butler, where Matthew Butler is a player that was not drafted by this current regime. He was a 5th rounder out of Tennessee. And due to the signings of Christian Wilkins, obviously Adam Butler, John Jenkins, you brought them back. But then also Byron Young, based on reports, has been doing a lot better. Dude, these reverse jumping jacks are not easy. I got to get back into sync. Rebel. The problem when you do a reverse jumping jack is it looks like you're not trying, but I am trying. Do it right now. Stand up in the air. Like when I do a jumping jack, when I would jump up, I usually come up and down. It's the exact opposite.
There we go.
All right, that's 20. Only 80 more to go. West Coast Spartan, you're better than that, Mitch. I'll tell you this right now.
Am I?
I think I've done more reverse jumping jacks than anybody in the world. Tell me somebody that you know has done more reverse jumping jacks.
A Raiders player that could be traded before week 1. The only one that really comes to mind, and it'd be tough. But with everything, if you didn't watch our show earlier that we put out, go ahead and go watch it. It's already on the channel. But a part of me feels like if there's an impasse, if they can't get it done, if another team would be willing to trade a first or second for Colton Miller.
Oh, man. So the reason why I think Chugs is saying that is because the video that we put out earlier today, I just talked about, like, you know, something that's at least in my mind, where I've talked to Miller's camp, and Miller's camp originally told me that they were going to be ready, that he was going to be ready by training camp. Miller's not this type of dude. He's not this type of player, but, like, you know, I think all Raider fans are kind of like, all right, when's Miller going to be coming back? And because of that unknown certainty, speculation, my mind, it goes wild. But when you look at Colt Miller's contract right now, he's got no money guaranteed this year and no million guaranteed next season. He's the 17th highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL. And when you look at how much money the Raiders have in salary cap space, you know, we talk a lot about extending Malcolm Kuntz, extending Robert Spillane, Nate Hobbs, Trevon Merrick, Marcus Epps. Like, these are players that we discuss. But then also, if I'm Colt Miller, do you not maybe potentially want like a new deal like geared towards you? You got a brand new offensive line coach in James Craig. You got a brand new head coach, brand new GM. There's a lot of unknowns there, no doubt about it. You got a quarterback situation that, let's face it, isn't exactly the QB situation that the Raiders were hoping for. I went back and I watched the pivot the other day, and Antonio Pierce literally said in the pivot interview, like, this is before the NFL draft, he goes, let's just say worst case scenario, we got to go back to Aidan next year. Like, I think even for the Raiders, that was not their plan. So Colton Miller, I think, is where Jeremy's coming there. What about this? This is maybe an unpopular answer. I think Chris Smith could be one. And this one I think is, again, a little bit more of a crazy answer. What about Thayer Munford? A lot of reports out there that DJ Glaze has been looking good. Continues to get more and more reps with the first team. And Munford was another offensive lineman that didn't really, wasn't drafted by this regime. Andres Pete's at left tackle. They seem to like Cody Whitehair. Now, if it was up to me, I'd rather just put DJ Glaze at right tackle, kick Munford over to the left side, and let him compete at left guard instead of Whitehair. Some injury concerns around Jackson Powers-Johnson. But if there was an NFL team out there that said, hey, man, we'll give you a, 6th-round pick or something like that for Munford, a 5th-round pick, would the Raiders entertain it? I wouldn't trade Munford personally because I think that we need the offensive line depth. But, like, if Las Vegas is very, very impressed with DJ Glaze and that hype train continues to grow and grow, I've seen crazier trades in my day. That's all I'm going to say, man. That's all I'm going to say. All right, y'all, name a player that you think could be traded. Let me see what your answer is. If you show the August bang race, just put a 6 next to Noah Santana. He just did one. Live Oak, I see you down there. If Glaze starts, it's how he needs to impress on the preseason. What else do we got? What's up, Noah? Diablo's an interesting one from Nabman. Nabman, that's a good answer as well. Because this also says traded before week 1, where that, I think, is a big, important part of this question here. And, they drafted Eichenberg. They like what they have in Eichenberg. They obviously like what they have in Spillane. Amari Burney, from what I understand, is really just a special teams guy at this point. Luke Masterson. But the other name that I'm going to throw into the mix of why, Nabman, I agree with you for Diablo is his name is Isaiah Polameo. And, Polameo to me, I'm going to make this comparison and let me know down in the comments why for yes and for no if it's a good one. Isaiah Polameo kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Nicholas Morrow. And not the same player, totally different positions. I get it. But when Morrow was a UDFA and he got better and better and better, and for like a 4-year stretch, every single season, Nicholas Morrow got better and turned into a reliable player that eventually started for the Raiders. Isaiah Polameo, first year he makes the team, and it was a little bit of a shock on that 53. What has happened? Every year he has gotten better and better and better, and now he's no doubt the third safety behind Merrick, behind Epps. But if I'm somebody like Patrick Graham, and I take a lot of pride in being able to draw up some versatility with my defense and being able to create some of these mismatches and whatnot, and if I want to put the best players out there on the field, I know that Divine Diablo is a free agent next offseason. Could you potentially look at an idea of trading away Divine Diablo for something, saving a little bit of that money, and then having a let's get a little bit weird with our linebacker group of you could play Tommy Eichenberg next there to Robert Spillane. If there's a situation where you think that it's going to be a pass play, maybe you put in Isaiah Palameo as that other linebacker and let them go out there and cook. Isaiah Palameo is, I'm telling you right now, a very, very intriguing player. Now, our August bang race with Noah Santana's bang puts him and Ed Robbins tied up. If you don't know what a bang is, it's a $100 super chat here on the show. Yoda Jenkins with 2, Jamari, Angel, and the Goots coming in here with 1. But you know what? Now we got a 4-way tie. Cass Joey. Bang! He said no, did he? He said no, did he? He said no, did he? I think Aidan will start in the preseason after Coach said he earned the first rep. And Kuntz could be traded if Tyree balls out. Malcolm Kuntz is a interesting answer. Also, Cast, is this the new whip that you were telling me about before? It's a pretty sick whip. It kind of looks like Raider Ron's. You're okay. Kind of look like Raider Ron's a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh really? Wow. Okay. Hey. Jugs is telling me Justin Simmons might be going to the Texans, so we'll see there. I'll talk about my prediction on who I think is going to be the starting quarterback for the first preseason game, Aidan O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. Who do you guys think is going to start? Cast is rolling with AOC, and what I have always said with this QB battle this offseason is tie goes to Aidan. Like, if it's the preseason game, if you go into training camp and Aidan took the first snap and Aidan's the quarterback one, if literally it's been status quo, nothing has changed, tie goes to Aidan O'Connell.
Well, I mean, and I think that's the case because you have Aidan on a rookie deal. So it's like you have to at least see what you have in a quarterback on a rookie deal before you let him go or before you kind of move on. Yeah. Because Gardner Minshew, I mean, yes, it's a cheap deal, but still we know what Gardner Minshew is. If you want to make sure what Aidan is before next offseason, you got to play him some this year. You got to start him.
And if anybody out there thinks that Jeff Jr. eats corn the long ways, I think you guys can type me down below. I don't know who this guy is, no doubt.
Oh, dude, he's the worst.
There's no doubt in my mind.
He's the worst.
Eating corn the long way. But Kuntz, I'll say this, is an interesting name. I don't think that Malcolm does end up getting traded because of how much the Raiders do really like him. Not before week 1. If we get to the NFL trade deadline and Malcolm is having a good year, and we don't think that we're going to bring him back, but also Tyree Wilson is having a good year, then I think that answer is definitely a possibility. With Catch Joey's bang, I told you all this before. We are now 2 bangs away from doing something in Raiders Report history that has, and I'll say it, never been done before. Not even Raiders Report history. It's never been done before at Chat Sports. We're going to do something first, is what I'll say. We're going to do something first, is all. All right, coming up here live on the show, we got 500 people here. If you hate the Kansas City Chiefs, I want you to click that like button right now. You know who else hates the Chiefs? Cass Joey! Bang! Another one!
Bang!
I don't like ties. I thought this said tires. The show tires is great. I like Guard Dog to win the battle. I just think Aidan gets the nod first. To be honest with you, this is probably my answer as well. I want Aidan O'Connell to win the job, and I really, really did want Aidan O'Connell to win the job. Oh, man. There it is. It's official. Oh! C! Raider! Bang! This is getting out of hand. OC Raider with a nice bang there.
He said, I like being part of history. Also, FKC, I don't like ties. I like Guard Dog to win the battle. I just think Aidan gets the first nod from Cast Joey.
Holy cow. And then, oh my God, I didn't even see this. Colton Raider! Bang! Bang! You've got to be kidding me, man. Okay, got to know what it is you're going to do.
Well, we already did it.
We just passed the record. We've been doing a lot of different things here at Chat Sports. We've been doing a lot of competitions. Let's just say that. And the Raiders Report was the first to accomplish something, and it's because of everything that y'all have done for this show. So Common, OC Raider, y'all have been wilding, and I'm talking wilding out early here on today's show, man. It's already been kind of crazy. Common Raider. Holy cow. I'm doing my best to document this.
More like not so common Raider.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Evil, Hobbs, Kuntz, Wilson. One first pick for Fred Warner?
Oh, wow.
That's a terrible trade.
No, that would be awful.
I think Fred Warner is a really good linebacker, arguably the best linebacker in the NFL. But I'm not trading my best corner, my second best edge, and a player that I drafted number 7 overall, a player that we have a lot of faith in Tyree Wilson for an aging linebacker.
And the number 1 overall pick.
And
I
honestly didn't even say I didn't even see that. If it was Fred Warner and the Niners' first round pick for those 3, that to me is more realistic than trading all that for Fred Warner. It ain't going to happen. Oh, my God. Cast Joey.
Joey.
Bang! He said, let's get this thing going. Get a little bit wet and wild here on Monday. Cast Joey, what's up, brother? Bro, I'll tell you what, fire me up one time. Fire me up one time for Cast Joey. I needed this. I told Chugs today, I walked into work today, I was tired. I was tired. Alex had a 9-hour flight delay yesterday. She was supposed to land at like 5:45. I ended up picking her up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I did not sleep a lot last night. You can ask Chugs. I literally chugged some nootropics from Panda Sups before we got in the show. When King Shav is doing this whole countdown thing and you got Nabman saying that I should get fired because we were late, I'm chugging some Panda Sups, some Noops, and Chugs is taking a lead.
Rebel had already thrown the flag on delay of stream.
Yep. Hey, man. It's first time in history for Chat Sports. Raiders Report, man, we did something, and I'm just telling you all this. What we did's pretty legendary. Let's go to Brendan Smith. Laube will have more yards than Jacobs and Green Bay.
Now,
I'm not going to go that far.
I don't think rushing either.
Now, I'll say this. Zamir White. I made this claim the other day, and I'm going to stick to it. I think Zamir White finishes the season with more total yards than Josh Jacobs. But that's also on the precedent that I don't think Jacobs is going to be healthy. Jacobs is already battling multiple injuries at Packers camp.
I've also heard some reports that...
And he's not in good shape. Or not as in good a shape as what you want for a back that they paid.
The guy that you loved so much during the draft process has been impressing a ton.
Marshawn Lloyd.
He's been looking great.
Like, as good as what Laube has looked for us, Marshawn Lloyd, and I'm telling y'all this right now, there's been multiple reports out there from Packers beat writers like, I don't know if Josh Jacobs was a good move. Lloyd has been really, really impressive. Zamir White's going to have more total yards than Josh Jacobs this season. And I think Zamir's going to be around 1,000 total yards. Where, Jacobs, here's what's going to happen with Jacobs. He's going to play this season for the Packers, and then he's going to be a free agent in 2025. They can get out of his contract, and they're going to get out of his contract. You could bookmark this video right now. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. He's not going to be on a team next season. Well, he'll be a free agent. There'll be another team that ends up signing him. And with all the stuff he said about the Raiders, as far as I'm concerned, if Josh wanted to come back and play for us on an extremely cheap deal, sure, I'd open the idea. But Jacobs burned a lot of bridges, I think, with this organization this offseason. That's my 2 cents.
And it's just crazy because, more than a lot of other positions in the NFL, which we always see it happen where it's like guys flame out. Like, they have 1 or 2 great years, and then you're like, what happened? Like, Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the league for, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at his workload, it was also, the injuries that he sustained.
But it's like these running backs are getting like Jacobs got injured. Jacobs slowed down.
Jacobs got in, but again, it's the heavy workload. And I put out a video, and it was a very unpopular video. And I think right now we live in a world where it's not easy being a content creator, and I get that, especially when you make as much content as we do. But being a content creator, like, you got to be okay giving that unpopular opinion. Like, you got to be okay saying, like, I'm not afraid to step up here and say that, I don't think Aidan is the franchise quarterback. Yeah, we got to give him a shot, but that's an unpopular opinion, I think, for a lot of people amongst the nation. Me saying that I wasn't, necessarily a believer in Derek Carr, that was an unpopular thing. Me saying that Josh McDaniels is never going to work out, that was an unpopular take, but, like, you got to have some of those takes. And for me right now, I think with content creators, there's so many people that are afraid to have the unpopular take, where my unpopular takes last year around Jacobs were, history suggests that Jacobs is going to have a bad year. And it has to do with that heavy workload. When you have a season like Josh did, 340 carries, over 2,000 total yards, your body is not used to taking on that type of workload. Then he goes into the offseason and, he's holding out a little bit, still working out, but not working out at the practice field. I would compare that to working from home and working in the office. Like, I work from home sometimes. I don't get nearly as much done as when I work in the office. I think it's kind of the same thing. So for Jacob, somebody that's shown you when he gets paid, doesn't work as hard. Injuries start to pile up. You're already seeing it this season. And I don't want to say like I told people so, but I could see Jacobs having a bad year last season, which is why I was saying probably wasn't a good reason to go out and pay him what we ended up paying him. Let's go to another one rolling in here from Cast Joey. Nah on JJ. He's not welcome back. Ran his mouth too much. Raider card revoked on that clown. I mean, Jacobs blocked me when I started saying, like, Jacobs' agent was talking to me, and Jacobs' agent and I, we haven't talked recently, but he still follows me on Twitter. I keep tabs on him here and there, and Jacobs' agent has been nothing but kind to me. But, like, I think the one problem is sometimes with some of these NFL guys is you can't say one thing and when the absolute truth is completely opposite of that. And if Jacobs wants to get mad at me for, putting the truth out there and then him saying it's not true, like, that's fine. But I'm kind of with Cash Joey here. Like, I'm happy with Zamir. I'm happy with Dylan Laube. And if he wanted to come back to the Raiders, I'll say this. Like, if you want to come back on a cheap deal, cool. But I don't really think that we're going to need Josh Jacobs, quite frankly. Let's go to Nathan Wolf. Ow! Back then, looks like a good spot for a Raiders chat sports party. Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, Nathan, it's a really good spot. Been looking at the setup, big stage and TV setup. Time to blow the roof off that place. If you don't know what Nathan's talking about, Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're going to be in North Carolina when the Raiders play the Chargers week 1. And the reason why I'm so fired up about the week 1 game, obviously it's week 1, right? So, like, the adrenaline's going. You're going up against the Chargers, the Jim Harbaugh game. But, like, this one means a lot to me because I ended up meeting, his name's Daryl. He's in charge of we'll call it the North Carolina Raider fans, and he owns a company that's called Autumn Abyss. They've sponsored the show before. But I met Daryl out at my very first Oakland tailgate. Back in 2019, was a watcher of the show. And Daryl hit me up over the summer and was like, bro, how can I get you and Chuggs out there for our kickoff event? I want you to be the host, and I want you to MC our watch party. I said, would absolutely love to do it. So, like, really fired up about this because for me, this is somebody that has supported the show for a long time and wants me to go out there for an event. And this is like their opening event at Back Then Bar and Grill. So if anybody wants to party with Jeremy and I, there's going to be tons of prizes. It's 100% free to attend. Go to chatsports.com/week1. That link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. But then we're also going to be doing something not only on that Sunday, September 8th, we're also going to be doing some Top Golf on Saturday, September 7th, which I am super, and I mean super fired up for. I'm terrible at golf, but I am going to hit the shit out of a golf ball. It's not going to go straight, and I'm not even going to try to, like, win. Like, I don't play Top Golf to win. I go to Top Golf to have some good conversations, to slam some drinks, and I'm going to try to drive a ball 300 yards. I don't know if I'm going to make contact, but that's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm going to try to do. What's up, Raider Hillbilly? Steven, Cass, Joey.
Oh, there we go.
All rocking with this, man.
Sorry, I was trying to find the link for y'all guys to throw it in there, but here's the link if y'all haven't gotten your tickets yet.
If you want, down there below, claim your free tickets, chatsports.com/week1. All right, I think we got one more super chat coming in, and then let's get into the latest news and rumors. What?
Young Rich, honestly, we've talked about it on the show before, and I don't really want to give him any.
Yeah, I'm not going to give that guy any. To me, at the end of the day, Raider Nation is family, and that guy, one, not even a fan of the team. Two, he's tried to get my show canceled. He's tried to get multiple other content creator shows canceled, and I don't agree with things that he does and says, but I would never try to cancel his show because that's how a lot of people put food on the table, a roof over their head, and the fact that that has happened to me and to multiple other people out there. Like, that's not what a Raider mentality is. So I always say this. If people want to support him, you're not part of my family. I always call people real ones. I call people that subscribe to the Raider Sport my family. If you watch his content and you subscribe to that, you're absolutely allowed to do that. But I'm just telling you all right now, you're not a part of my family. You're not a part of my friend group. If I knew that you did subscribe there, I wouldn't even shake your hand. That's me being as real as I possibly can. Coming up next here on the show, we got news and rumors around the Silver and Black. Going to talk a lot about training camp. Then we're going to get into some stuff around Jacoria Bennett, DJ Glaze, some receivers. Really unfortunate receiver went down today, just part of it. As always, if anybody's got any questions, hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. And I still owe 80 reverse jumping jacks, which actually, you know what, Chugs? Let me bang a few of these out.
You want to bang out 20 more? There we go.
It's not that easy.
Spam the LVs in the chat. Spam the LVs in the chat. Give him some support. Let's go.
It's just out of sync.
Support one another. Hey, I mean, you look like a donkey trying to swim, but it's okay.
I look like a Bronco fan trying to swim. I look like a Chiefs fan trying to do the YMCA. I look like a 49ers fan jumping rope. I look like a Chargers fan
playing peekaboo.
Playing what?
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo? I look like if I was the person at the Olympics doing gymnastics. This would be my routine right here.
Oh, yeah.
100 reverse jumping jacks. I think that's another 20. I got 60 to go. It's not going to be easy. Let me catch my breath before I get into this next segment. And I start the show off, and people are like, did he rub one out before starting this or what? What happened? You look like a Raider for life. Kingston, I appreciate that.
Cash Joey said, bro, you got no rhythm. See, the thing is, you can't see his feet, but he's doing a reverse.
So, when you do a normal jumping jack, it's the jumping jack you did your entire life. It's normal. So, my arms go up, your legs go out. Do it the opposite way. When your legs are closed, your hands go up. When your legs go out, your arms go out. That's a reverse jumping jack. That's not easy to do. Does that make sense? Try to do it right now. You're going to be like, it's the most uncoordinated I could possibly be. Tell your kids to do it. Make a video of it. Send it to me. I think that's hilarious. Raider fan makes fans do. Cartwheel's not going to happen. Somersault, not going to happen. Handstand, not going to happen. You know what is going to happen? We're going to get into some Raiders content today. Raiders practice notes, my 5 biggest takeaways, and I'm going to make a prediction on who I think is going to start for the Raiders up against the Minnesota Vikings in their preseason game. You ready? Do a flip, Raphael. If I do a flip, somebody else is hosting this show. It's not me. I'll tell you that. I'm going to be done. Dunzo. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And is Gardner Minshew going to be starting at quarterback against the Minnesota Vikings, or will it be Aidan O'Connell? I'll tell you coming up here on today's show. On top of that, all the practice news and notes that you need from today, August 5th, and then my 5 biggest takeaways from Raiders practice today. Now, the first note that I want to get into here is this thing from Tashawn Reed on Twitter that said Antonio Pierce didn't reveal who will take the first snaps, but he said he expects both Gardner Minshew and Aidan O'Connell to play a legit quarter in the Raiders preseason opener against the Vikings on Saturday. So when I saw that report go out there from Tashawn, and this has been something that we've talked about multiple times on this show, where I anticipated Gardner, Aidan to play in almost every preseason game until you legitimately figure out who your starting quarterback is. But this is going to be the main question that we're going to continue to ask, because this is the most important thing that our fan base, that our team needs to be able to figure out before we play the Los Angeles Chargers in, 34 days from now? Who should go first in the preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings? Should it be Aidan O'Connell, type AOC? Or if you think it should be Gardner, the guard dog Minshew, I want you to type GM down below. To me, whoever has been the best quarterback deserves to start, which is the most cliche answer I could possibly give. But if we are going off of that, and if we are going off of what has been reported, yes, this has been a neck-and-neck battle, and yes, it has been a back-and-forth affair. But the better quarterback thus far since training camp has started, it's a fact, has been Gardner Minshew. So if we're going to stick to this whole idea of whoever the best quarterback should be, whoever the best quarterback is, deserves a start. If that's true, it should be Gardner Minshew. Now, we've seen some back and forth, like Aidan O'Connell, he was the better quarterback on Monday. Gardner Minshew, he was the better quarterback in that scrimmage on Saturday. And personally, if it's up to me, I'm going to value play in scrimmage, play in a preseason game, more than just play during training camp and practice, because I want to see what it actually looks like when it's time to actually get it going, right? Like, real game situation. This is what Paul Gutierrez had to say on the Raiders quarterback battle. This was from Saturday. If Gardner Minshew had an ever so slight lead in the Raiders quarterback competition against Aidan O'Connell entering Saturday evening's inter-squad scrimmage, the veteran free agent might have started to put some distance in that race. So to me, I saw that quote. I've seen that both the reports out there that both QBs are going to play, and really, I think it's going to be some combination of Gardner, Aidan, and then I also think you're going to see Anthony Brown and Carter Bradley. Hell, I think all 4 quarterbacks might get an entire quarter. However, though, this quarterback battle has been very, very close. And if there is a take that I'm going to continuously say is, if Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco on Saturday go, Gardner Minshew and Aidan O'Connell, this has been a tie. Tie goes to Aidan. So if Gardner Minshew goes out there and he starts, that is the Raiders telling you this, that Gardner has been the better quarterback this offseason, and Gardner has been the better quarterback, and if the season were to start today, I think that they would roll with Gardner. If Aidan goes out there, to me, all that is saying is that they are still a little bit unsure of what this battle is, because it has been reported that Gardner has been the better QB. Now, like, Aidan could end up having a great week this week, and if Aidan has a great week this week and the reports go back to it's an even race or Aidan's the better QB and he starts, then he deserves it. But I think if Gardner starts, I think that's a really big message. If it's a tie, it's still more than likely going to be Aidan O'Connell. If you don't know when the preseason game is, it is a late one. That time is wrong. It is a late game for the Raiders. Or no, that time's right. It is August 10th. That's on me. I was thinking the other games are late. August 10th at 4 p.m. Eastern time in Minneapolis. Yeah, no, the second preseason game, third one. Those are the late ones. Bottom line is this, though. We're going to be live for this game, and we're going to be live an hour before kickoff. Hell, if our show on Thursday when we go live gets crazy enough and y'all want me to go live even earlier for this game, dude, I'm down to get down. I've been waiting for preseason action for a long, long time. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because the way that the Raiders Report got popular is watch parties. We're going to have over 100,000 people rocking with us. Are you going to be one of those 100,000? I hope so. I also got high hopes here. I know. We're 420 subs away from hitting 171,000. Help the Raiders Report take down our Vikings Now channel here. The more subs we get, the crazier this show can be, the better the giveaways are. And yeah, we're giving some shit away on Saturday. Coming up next here on the show, let's go through just some of the Raiders training camp news from today, because there is a lot to get into today. A lot of wide receiver talk is how I'll put it, because again, another injury happened to this position. The first note that I'll give you is Jalen Guyton. He practiced for the first time today, and Jugs is doing this in the back, Mean Green, North Texas. But this is notable because, with Michael Gallup retiring, Guyton originally was on the PUP list. Now he's getting some more reps, and I originally thought that Guyton would be a dude that probably ends up making this squad. He might be on the outside looking in. One player who continuously just shows up and is just as consistent as they come, it's Jakobi Meyers. Meyers isn't a wide receiver 1. But you know what? If you get a guy like this as a wide receiver 2 on your team, you're moving in the right direction. He's stepping up for Devontae Adams, who still has yet to have his baby boy. When he does have the baby, he's going to return to practice. Another player that I got a note from today from one of my buddies was on Michael Mayer. A lot of conversation around Brock Bowers for obvious reasons. Bowers is the real deal. But Michael Mayer might be the best tight end, too, in the NFL. In fact, your homework, after you watch this show, go on the internet. Go on Google. I heard it's pretty cool. Look up NFL teams' tight end depth charts. The best tight end, too, in the NFL is Michael Mayer. He lost 10 pounds. He's running faster. They're using him a lot more. And I can't wait for NFL teams to see and feel how physical, how gifted Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Harrison Bryant truly are. Next thing coming up here is more training camp news and notes. But before I get into that, Game Time. If it wasn't for them, y'all would have to pay to watch this show. If you don't show love to our sponsors, then, hey, that's on you. For me personally, I like being able to make free content, and our sponsors help keep the lights on here. Game Time. Download it right now. Chugs and I love using the Game Time app. And most recently, I was able to snag tickets to the Home Run Derby. Last year, I was able to snag tickets to Raiders, Cowboys, give them away as a gift. But Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball. So for those of you out there, maybe you're a Mets fan, maybe you're a Dodgers fan, there's some Rangers fans down here in Texas, and you want to go see a game, prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. With the Raiders preseason and regular season right around the corner, Game Time is the perfect app for Raider Nation. I love their all-in pricing, their last-minute deals. I love being able to see where I'm going to sit with their seat views, which you get this panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, which I love. So download the Game Time app today. Views from your seats, that lowest price guaranteed. Obviously, again, terms apply. If you're listening to everything that I'm saying, you're like, all right, Mitch, you're throwing a lot at me. How's just something easy that I can click on and I'm good? The links are down in the comments. The links are down in the description of today's show. I love using Game Time, and I'm really excited to be able to use it this upcoming season for some NFL games. Let's go to the next note that I have here, and it's around Trey Tucker. And my biggest concern right now around Tucker is the drops. We know that he's an incredible athlete. We know that he's got great acceleration. We know that he's explosive, but he's just continuously drops the football. And, for a player like Tucker, you might not get as many opportunities once the actual season goes, and you need to be able to take advantage of them. I want Aidan or Gardner, and I want Luke Getsy to have the confidence to be able to draw up a play, throw one deep down the field, and you got to hope that Tucker's able to bring it in, because right now, I don't know if it's a concentration issue, I don't know if it's a skill set issue, but he is really struggling with drops right now. And outside of Devontae and Jakobi, I think if you were to ask that coaching staff, hey, who do you have a lot of confidence in? I don't know if they'd have another answer. Now, obviously, like Brock Bowers and some of these other playmakers, but from the wide receiver position, I'm not sure. One dude that continuously gets work, and I talked about him on Saturday during the scrimmage. I talked about him also in my video that I put out on, I did 2 videos on Saturday, where I said Randall Keaton is somebody that you need to start paying a closer attention to, and he was a player that I said, if I could put in a 53-man roster video, if I were to do a 53-man roster video right now, Randall Keaton's making this team. UDFA from Tennessee. Today, Antonio Pierce asked Edgar Bennett, the Raiders wide receiver coach, if he could start getting some more work with the twos. He was good during the scrimmage. He was really good last Friday as well in practice. Yesterday, they had off, and then today, he's right back at it, and he's taking advantage of it. But what I love about this young man here is he's taking advantage of the situation that is at hand. Devontae Adams isn't at practice because he's expecting a baby boy. Michael Gallup retires. Jalen Guyton was on the PUP list. So that means for a lot of these younger players out there, you're earning and you're getting some extra opportunity. I want a guy that takes advantage of that extra opportunity. And right now, Keaton is absolutely positively doing that. Some more notes here on Gardner Minshew. He did not look good in the beginning of practice today. He was throwing the ball all over the field in all the bad ways. Luckily, though, was able to regain some of that composure and was much better at the end of practice. But, like, the biggest thing and probably the number one thing that you're going to learn from today's show was Gardner was good, but Aidan was better. And this is just like, this is a roller coaster of emotions, this quarterback battle. Like, I don't know if there's been a single time all off season or off training camp where it's like Aidan was better today and then Aidan was better the next day. I feel like it's like tomorrow, genuinely. Like today was a little bit, no pads. It was more just maybe not as important as that practice scrimmage. Tomorrow they're going to get back at it. Like, I feel like tomorrow is going to be Gardner was better, Aidan wasn't as good. It's just been a hell of a QB battle, and that's why I'm so excited to see it in the preseason. One guy that this might surprise you just was unbelievable today, Max Crosby. Multiple sacks. Just looks like the best player out there on the field, and he is no doubt the best player out there on the field, and he's going to let you know about it. And I was talking to DJ Glaze the other day, and I was talking to him like, who do you love going up against the most? And he said, Max Crosby. That guy's wild, man. One other player that's wild, Jack Jones. And I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this, but Jack Jones might legitimately be the Raiders' cornerback one. He has an opportunity to be the kick returner. He had a kick return touchdown on Saturday's scrimmage. He also might be the guy kicking it off with these new kickoff rules. So one of the things that the Raiders have been working on is, like, with these new kickoff return rules, if you can get that extra tackler in there, extra athlete, Jack Jones in the case here, he's been kicking the ball. So imagine not Daniel Carlson, not A.J. Cole. It's Jack Jones to kick the ball off and then sprint down the field and try to get a tackle. The Raiders are using him in a lot of different ways, which I think just goes to show how much that they trust this young man here. And it's why, when you talk about some of these contract extensions, Nate Hobbs, Malcolm Kuntz, Jack isn't available to get an extension now, but if you wait until the offseason and then you got to figure out how to bring back all these players, you got to add Jack Jones into that equation then for the following offseason. One player that got carted off practice today, and I did do a short on it a few hours ago, Jeff Foreman, UDFA from Arkansas State. The text message that I received was, you just pray for him. It looked really bad. It was a knee injury. Originally, it was reported that it was a leg, maybe not quite known exactly what happened. Knee carted off. I'm going to pray that it was a tweak, some sort of a freak injury where he's going to be able to get back out there on the field and, it wasn't as severe. Like, I've had knee injuries before where I've had a knee injury that I thought I tore my ACL and I only tore my MCL and I was able to come back. Though my other knee injury that I had before was I was told that it was a meniscus tear, and I ended up tearing my ACL, my LCL, and my MCL in one knee. Like, knees are weird. Knees are sucky. But anytime you hear knee and carted off, all I want you guys to do if you watch this show, put a prayer emoji down in the comments. And if anybody knows Jeff Foreman, if anybody knows the Foreman family, if there's anything I could do, man, I'm praying for you. I've been trying to have more meaningful prayer. It's been something that Alex and I have been trying to do together a lot more. We've been going to church more often. Meaningful prayer. Jeff, I promise you, man, I'm praying for you, dude. Coming up next here on the show, I got my 5 biggest takeaways from practice today. And this is something that I would just want to keep on doing because, again, people are kind of reporting the same thing over and over and over again. And I get it. A lot of content creators out there, a lot of people that report on the Raiders. I think we have legitimately probably the best content creators in the biz. Before I get into my 5 biggest takeaways from practice today, I got a brand new Raiders shirt that I want you guys to go ahead and check out. So shout out to the Raider fans in North Carolina. Autumn Abyss, they are launching a brand new t-shirt, and their shirt is called AP Law. And the AP Law, you can read it on the back of this shirt right here, which says, what is that? You showed up, we showed out, new chapter, new beginning. Antonio Pierce. And that's what this North Carolina Raider fan group is doing. And it's a lowrider. It's a sick shirt. I will say this. Anybody that has ever asked me, like, I sometimes wear this, like, all-white Tom Flores hoodie. It's made by Autumn Abyss. I sometimes wear this like Tecmo Bowl Bo Jackson shirt made by Autumn Abyss. The fabric on these shirts is like a high quality like Nike t-shirt. It's that like moisture wicking technology. They are really, really good shirts, especially like you need these type of shirts if you're going out to Vegas. You can't wear a cotton shirt if it's 100 degrees, 110 in Vegas. So bottom line is this. If you want to pre-order your shirt, go to chatsports.com/APLaw. Just spoiler alert, this isn't a picture of me. I am working really hard to get there, though. So if you want one of these shirts, all sizes available. Pre-order now. Those links are available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. chatsports.com/APLaw. So here we go. Biggest takeaways today. The quarterback battle is still wide open. I know I started the show off telling you, hey, who I think is going to be the starting quarterback in the preseason. I'm still going to go with Gardner because he has the lead. But this is a battle that if anybody out there is saying it's this guy's job or that guy's job, you're just flat out wrong. Another player that's opening eyes is Randall Keaton, and needs to be somebody that a lot of y'all need to start paying attention to. We've been talking about him a little bit more over the past week, and he's been gaining some of that, tread. He's been gaining some of that lead there, which is why I want people to watch the Raiders report even in the month of July, even in the month of August, because you know that this isn't the first time that we've talked about him. Another player is Trey Tucker. He's got a drop problem, and he needs to be more consistent because the talent is there, and maybe that's a little bit of the frustrating part with Tucker where you're like, you watch him play, and you're like, the talent's obvious there. He's got a connection with Aidan O'Connell, but he's got to get the drops, the connection, the concentration. And I threw this idea out there. They are using him in a lot of different ways on special teams. Maybe we just need to let him be a receiver. Like, you can't do all these things unless you're great at one. Let's let him be great at being a receiver because I think that's the most important role he's going to play for this season for our team. Next one is this. The Raiders tight end group is sneaky good. And I use the word sneaky in there for the national media. I know it's good. You know it's good. Most Raider fans out there know how good Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and having Harrison Bryant as your tight end 3. A lot of solid depth there. But, like, when you talk to a lot of people outside of the NFL or outside of the Raiders organization, people don't realize how good our tight end group is. Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, guys, I'm telling you right now, they are the real deal. The final thing is this. The wide receiver depth, it's concerning. And when you're watching practice out there, Antonio Pierce spoke about how he likes what he sees in the corners and he likes what he sees in the DBs. My only fear is, do we have beer goggles on is how I'll say this for our DBs and our defense because, like, you think about our wide receivers right now. The wide receivers that are out there going up against this defense, a wide receiver group that, like, I want to see the best version of Aidan. I want to see the best version of Garder Minshew. And, if we want to paint this picture of the best overall quarterback battle that we can get, we need to have better talent out there at the wide receiver position. That's no disrespect to a lot of those dudes, but outside of Jacoby Myers, it is Trey Tucker, unproven player. Like, pull up the depth chart real quick. Trey Tucker, unproven player. Jalen Guyton's been banged up. Still, though, a little bit of an unproven player. We're talking about Randall Keaton, DJ Turner. Keelan Doss was signed just a few days ago. Alex Bachman has been somebody that continues to get some attention. Another UDFA and Tulu Griffin. I'm not saying that these players aren't good or can't be good in the future, but if we're legitimately trying to figure out our quarterback battle and we're not giving our QBs like the best wide receiver talent that we can get, I think that we're doing our team a little bit of a disservice here. So if it's up to me, our wide receiver depth is definitely a little bit concerning right now, especially from a practice standpoint. Now, I will say this, y'all. I'm not going to be live tomorrow, and hopefully y'all can understand that. I usually go live every single Tuesday. If there is any breaking news, I told Chugs that, he can just go ahead and cover it. Now, if it's like a trade or really, really big, Alex is probably going to get mad at me, but I am going to figure out a way to come in. Alex and I, we have our wedding tasting tomorrow, which has been something that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. We're going to make a day out of it. And throughout the season, we're going to have a few wedding things here and there. Obviously, I got to do right by Alex. She does right by you guys. Let me do what I do here. So just no live show tomorrow. You still will get a video out. You're still going to get some content. We put out a video every single day. I just wanted to give you a heads up. I will not be live tomorrow. I got some wedding stuff I got to do with Alex. Noah, what's up, man? Hey, like the vid. If you haven't already, make sure you click that like button right now. We got over 550 people tuned in to the Raiders Report. Smash that like button. What's up, Wolf? Keaton versus Tucker. how are their games comparable and different? Tucker is the much better athlete. Keaton might be the better receiver, where, like, Keaton's got sure hands. I think he might be a better route runner. Like, he's a sneaky route runner.
I wish Petey was here today.
Like, Petey's our Tennessee guy who's watched him a little bit more. Keaton, if you would just watch, I don't want to say Hunter Renfrow because they're not really the same player. It's just like Keaton kind of reminds me of a guy like Tommy Eichenberg, where when you watch him play, you're like, this guy's not that great of an athlete, but he gets open. Like, he's going to have a lot of 50-50 balls. He's not getting that separation, but he's catching the football. Like, if you were to watch Trey Tucker and Randall Keaton in shorts, you're like, Trey Tucker is significantly better than Keaton. But when they put on the pads and you're just, it's like a football thing, Keaton has impressed a lot of people. And he's got that physicality, he's got that toughness, and I think because he's also a willing blocker, which not a lot of UDFAs are, not even UDFAs, not a lot of young players want to go out there and hit somebody. Like, that's the biggest difference. And I can't really explain it besides that. Keaton just catches the ball. Keaton just gets open. Where Tucker is struggling catching the ball, better athlete, the Keaton just might be the better, receiver. Now, I'd still rather have Tucker. I want that to be very, very clear there. Speaking of Renfrow, I got this one from Big Ray on Twitter. Why is Renfrow not an option for the Raiders? And I don't think that he's not an option for the Raiders. Something that I've said before is, I just don't think he fits with what the Raiders are trying to do this season. And when people think of Hunter Renfrow, it kind of reminds me of, the way that we talk about Derek Carr, where people fell in love with a guy people fell in love with Renfrow his first 3 years in the NFL, right? Third year in the league, had over 100 catches. After that season, though, guys, he was not good for 2 seasons. And it's not just McDaniels' fault. You also got to put some blame on Hunter. He also struggled to stay healthy. Paychecks might be a little bit involved in that, but, he's still available in August. Not many, really good players are available in August. And think about all the issues the Raiders have had at the wide receiver position. I think that's also a very telling thing of that they're not overly going out and trying to bring in Renfrow. So, if it was up to me, should the Raiders sign Renfrow type S for sign, type P for pass, I am going to type my P for pass. If you're telling me I can get him at a vet minimum contract, or if we can get him at a price tag like we were going to pay Gallup, where it was 1 year up to $3 million, sure, right? I would entertain that idea. My concern is it's just going to cost more. I would rather have Michael Thomas. I'd rather have Russell Gage. I would rather have other players that I just think fit what this offense is trying to accomplish more, because if Renfrow goes out there, you don't want him blocking. He also has a lot of concussion issues, a lot of other injuries that are just kind of
there is something to be said sometimes about the psyche of a player and, needing a fresh start. It's one of those things where I go back to, other teams like the Rockets and James Harden had some great years.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they needed to separate because it was just never going to work out between those two sides. There's sometimes where it's in relationships,
sure,
you're with somebody and it's it might not be anybody's fault. Y'all don't hate each other, but at the end of the day, you're not compatible. And I think that's what Hunter Renfrow is with the Raiders right now. Yeah. There's not any bad blood.
I love Renfrow.
I think they're all cool with each other, but it's just what's best for the Raiders, and I think what's best for Renfrow. What's best for Renfrow is that they both kind of go their separate ways.
Because right now, what are you gonna? If you're Renfrow, if I'm Hunter, I want an opportunity to be a starting slot wide receiver for a team. I don't know if he gets that opportunity for the Raiders. Quite frankly, I don't think he gets the opportunity for the Raiders because, if you tell me who's going to line up the most in the slot this season for Las Vegas, it's Brock Bowers. I think Bowers lines up the most in the slot. And then, the other part about the slot is Jacoby's a big receiver, but he's also a big slot guy. And then Devontae, the older and older he gets, he's going to line up in the slot as well. So if I'm Las Vegas, I'm looking at the role of a slot player. And I have other options that I have more confidence in than Renfrow. On top of that, Renfrow doesn't fit this Raiders offense anymore. He's just not a physical enough player. I love Renfrow, and I want him to go somewhere and legitimately succeed. It's just I don't think it's with Las Vegas. I really don't.
Agreed.
I really don't. All right, I got to switch out my jersey here real quick. Let me
Perfect
go.
timing.
Let me go pee real quick. Also, I know I've been drinking a lot of coffee. I've probably had like 4 or 5 cups of coffee, some noops. I've been doing my best to stay awake, which I do feel a little bit better right now. Chugs is going to tell you about the meetup that we got going down. I need 2 minutes, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah, perfect timing, because if you haven't already, if you're going to be in Las Vegas, I almost said October, August 14th at 9 p.m., me and Mitch, we're going to be there with Raiders Report legends Taino and David Zahn. We're having a little meetup. We're going to go to practice, and then afterwards, we're going to have a team dinner. Team dinner at the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas at Joel's Chophouse. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the comment section for you right now. I'm telling you, it's one of the best dinners me and Mitch both have ever had. And if you're interested in coming, hanging out with us, having a great dinner, I mean, it's going to be a great dinner at a really good discount over there at Joel's Chophouse. Go ahead, make that reservation within Open Table, and then just in the little comment section, just make sure you put Raiders Report for that discount, and so that they know you're a part of our party, and we're gonna have a great time. So if you're trying to have a great time in Las Vegas, if you want to meet up with us and other Raiders fans, other Raiders Report viewers, this is your opportunity. And I know a lot of y'all are probably like, I'm not gonna be in Vegas during that time, so I can't go. Well, good news for you. Our boy Joel said he's gonna hook it up regardless. If you're gonna be in Vegas at any point during this year, during this season, if you're going to any of the preseason games, if you're going to Vegas for any of the regular season games, or if you're just going to Vegas just to have fun, go check out Joel's Chophouse, make a reservation on Open Table, and put Raiders Report in the notes tab, and they'll make sure to hook you up. I'll put it in there one more time for y'all if you need it, but I'm telling you right now, you won't regret it if you go hang out with us at Joel's Chophouse. The menu's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So go check it out today. I put that link in the comment section for y'all. If you haven't gotten it already, make sure you go check out Joel's Chophouse. Noah, wait, so that's a dinner, right? Yes. Dinner. It's later in the evening because Raiders practice is late that day.
It's not a diner. It's a dinner. Right? He says diner.
Oh.
I know. I know what he meant. I'm just kidding. Chugs is like, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Okay, yeah, I was confused.
I'm telling you right now, it's the best dinner we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's going to blow your mind, and I don't know if you said it, but even if, like, you can't make it on the 14th, if you're ever in Las Vegas and if you ever go to Open Table, put Raiders Report in Joel's Chophouse, he'll hook you up.
Oh, yeah.
He'll take care of you.
I've already seen some things on the menu that we didn't try last time that I want to try this time. Definitely I want to try the arancini.
Yep.
Definitely want to try
I'll say this, though. I actually talked to Joel. He said that he's also just going to, like, prepare some things for us. So I don't know if, like, it's going to be on the menu. I don't know if it's going to be what. But, like,
off menu. Well,
he said he's going to prepare some special stuff for us.
Did you say the bump?
Maybe.
Did you say that?
I didn't, but
Did he?
you can. He actually thought it was funny. So
What?
when you asked for the bump, because not many people ask for caviar, and he loves caviar.
I
think
loved it.
Well, I think it's just like anything. It's like, I'm not going to pay all that money for caviar because I don't appreciate it. But if you do appreciate it, then it makes sense.
It was
where
so
like,
good.
like I would pay, like there's the other day, Alex and I went out and there was an old fashioned that was $50, $50 old fashioned. Like that is a hella expensive old fashioned. If I was out in Vegas and I was having a dinner like I'm about to have with Joel, I would consider it because I love good old fashions, and I'd say, you know what, I would try it. Now, like, typically I don't like to pay over like 20. Like if I see an old fashioned over $20, I'm like, In Vegas though anymore, I mean, that's what an old fashioned just costs. Like we're gonna go get some good food, get some good drinks.
Dude, you were loving those smoked old fashions.
I love a good smoked old fashioned. You got me. I'm a hoe for a good smoked old fashioned. If there was ever like a bar out in Vegas, or if there's like a whiskey brand and they're like, hey, I want you to drink smoked old fashions instead of Happy Dads on the show, we'll sponsor it, I'm freaking in. Like, I'm telling you right now, I am so in. Ryan, who gets more sacks, Watt or Crosby? So you're saying TJ Watt or Max Crosby?
Or JJ.
Well, you think he might return to the Texans. Maybe I'm biased here. Probably am. I'm going to go with Max because, to me, Max is finally going to have a defensive tackle next to him like Christian Wilkins. And Max, people aren't going to be able to double him as often as what he got doubled last season. Where he had 14.5 sacks last year, I think he's going to be somewhere around 17.5, 18 sacks this season. The other reason why I'm willing to bet on Mad Max is because, let's face it, injuries. I am a believer that Max is going to be able to go out there and play more games this season than somebody like TJ Watt, which I don't think is a crazy thing to say, and I think Max is going to have 17.5, 18 sacks this season. Ed, what's up, Ed? Mitch, Saturday, you better bring your drinking pants and boots. I said this the other day on the show, and I do really want to do a better job of this. Like, when Raiders breaking news happens, I'm down to put my drinking pants on. I'm down to party. I'm down to have a good time. On Raiders game days, we're going to put our drinking pants on. We're going to put some boots on, and we're going to have a good time. Now, like, we're going to have a tailgate portion and then, like, a game portion where we're going to drink during tailgate. Once the game's going on, let's focus on the game at hand. Now, like, if the Raiders on a game day, score an 80-yard touchdown and y'all want to celebrate with some beer bongs and some shit, like, yeah, like, I'm going to be down for that. But, like, I don't want people to only associate this show with us just getting, like, completely silver and blacked out. On Thursday Night Football, yeah, we're going to put our drinking pants on. Raiders game day, drinking pants. But like today, Monday, a lot of y'all been wilding out. A lot of y'all been partying. To me, I'm going to look at that as saying like, hey, love it. You paid your bar tab. You wiped your feet. You said thank you to me. You're helping me out here. And you appreciate it. But like, I got to start doing a better job of just keeping the drinking on certain shows. But I promise you this Saturday, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to eat a bunch of food. I know how much weight I always put on during football season. I usually put on like 25, 30 pounds during football season because I'll eat like a whole pizza, and then we'll get ready for this game day. It's also in the middle of the afternoon. I thought the game was late on Saturday. It's the other games that are late out in Vegas. 4 o'clock's decent time.
I was going to say the next week, our game is
9.
It's ridiculous. 9 o'clock.
And the week after.
Is that at 9 as well?
Yep. Yeah, the 49ers game on the 23rd is 10 o'clock Eastern time. And then the Cowboys preseason game, also 10 o'clock Eastern time. That's wildly late. West Coast. I don't get it. Like, I get it. It's on the West Coast, it's 7 o'clock. But, like, also, that's late. Like, it's a late for Saturday. That's late. At least I thought so.
That's just wild.
I'm just saying. I thought it was late, man. Day. How sold are you on Luke Getsy? There is nothing that has changed from the moment that – I shouldn't say that. I'm a lot more confident in Getsy now than I was when the Raiders first hired him. And, it's just because you kind of see how the picture is being painted, where when the Raiders originally hired Getsy, I was nervous because I was like, that's not the hire that I wanted. Now seeing with what the Raiders did with Brock Bowers, their tight end room, I do like that room a lot more. So I'm hoping that, we can be a little bit better in that regard. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 6 on Getsy. He's got to go out there. He's got to get it done. And what's almost unfair to Getsy this year is the quarterback play. I hope Gardner gets it done. I hope Aidan does, but that is the Achilles heel of our offense right now. What's up, Noah? Getting completely silver and blacked out is hilarious. It's hilarious, but then there's also times where I am like, bro, you wake up the next morning after a show like that, and it's a lot easier on a Thursday or a Friday because I'm off the next day. On a Raiders game day where it's like, that's the first day of our week, you show up and after a bender to work the next day, it's tough, man.
You're like, not hilarious.
Yeah. What's up, Chance? Y'all got any good news on Anthony Brown? Heard he's been doing good. Any thoughts on him? Happy Monday, fellas. He has been doing well, and Anthony Brown has been impressive at times. There's always these ups and downs, and I think that the wide receiver room is a little bit weak right now, which has kind of impacted our quarterback play overall. It's also a brand new offense with Getsy. It's also one of the best defenses in the National Football League, but he's by far the most athletic quarterback. I originally thought that Carter Bradley would have a shot to beat out AB in terms of being that QB3. It's not going to happen anymore. Anthony Brown is securely the quarterback 3, but he's not going to be competing for a starting job. He's not going to be competing for the QB2 role. Quite frankly, I don't think it makes any sense to even talk about that. Let's go to J. Roy. Reminder, if you want your questions, comments on the show, Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to skip the line. Any chance the NFL writers reward the Raiders with a playoff win because the Super Bowl in Vegas made the NFL a F-ton of money? I don't even get this. What? Any chance the NFL
The joke, like it's scripted.
Oh.
Money.
No, I don't. I think if the Raiders are going to make the playoffs, obviously they got to go out there. They got to earn it. I'm also not somebody that believes that the NFL is scripted, so just keep that in mind. Las Vegas.
Just keep that in mind.
I know a lot of people are. Like, I get it all the time. NFL scripted. This is scripted. I don't believe that that's the case, but we'll see, man. The Raiders, 10 wins is what you got to get for a shot. And here's the thing. Even if you win 10 games, I don't even know if that guarantees you a shot in the AFC. Nathan Wolf, you're up next, man. One of the most exciting games I remember, I was at a Raider bar at the beach when we beat the Saints with the last-second two-point conversion. On every score, we are doing Jameson picklebacks. Oh, you were doing Jameson picklebacks. Jameson pickleback shot is...
I love a pickleback.
I like a pickleback. Multiple shots of pickleback? No.
Pickleback or nickelback? You have to choose one.
Probably going to go with nickelback.
There we go.
And here, I could listen to multiple Nickelback songs, not saying that I'm like them.
Look at this graph.
But they wouldn't make me throw up. Multiple pickleback shots. Jameson is probably my least favorite shot. Or one of my least favorite shots. That's like a shot that some people like. Not good experiences. Also, gin. I don't do well with gin. I had gin one time when I was really, really young, and it made me super sick. And ever since then, it's I haven't been able to go back, man. Haven't been able to go back. I also had somebody ask about the duck race. We're not doing a duck race today, so I think the other part, once the season gets going, we will do duck races on game day and on Thursday or Friday happy hour. Going forward, I think those will be our duck race days here on the show. I still owe 60 reverse jumping jacks, so I'm going to try to bang out a few here, Chugs.
Nice.
I'm going to try to bang out a few reverse jumping jacks, and then we're going to get into the next segment on today's show, which is going to be some rumors around Glaze, Christian Wilkerson, and then also Ja'Cory and Bennett, some interesting things around those three players there. I got 60 more to go. Hang on.
I believe in you, Mitch.
Let's get a question up. You pick any question you want, Chugs. We can answer that, and we'll keep it moving. I got Mac Attack. I see some people asking questions. Reminder, you got to use hashtag Raiders to get up on the screen. Got to use hashtag Raiders. That helps our system know that you're asking a question, and then we have that ability to put you up on screen, like Nabman just did. That would be kind of the way to do it. All right, I got 60 more to go. Ready?
There we go. Do you think, Mitch? Do you think?
It's too difficult.
One question I cannot seem to get answered. Do we have to pay Gallup when he decided to retire? My guess is he will return eventually to the NFL.
We do have to pay him a little bit. You have to pay like some of the workout bonuses and whatnot, but you don't have to pay his full contract. Like if I had to guess, because again, his deal was 1 year worth up to $3 million. It wasn't $3 million, so not a lot of incentives there. If I had to guess, the Raiders probably paid him, which, hold your ears on this, probably $400,000 would be my guess. I'd have to look at the exact contract details from top to bottom, but just based off of the information that I know off the top of my head, they probably paid him $400,000 from end of May to, July. So he got a good payday. But, again, we reported that he was playing on one leg, and if you're somebody like Gallup and you knew that you were injured but you'd be willing to take any contract possible, making $400,000, $500,000 in 2 months, that ain't too bad. 3 months when basically you're not doing anything. He had a few days of practice. Got to still work out and stay in shape, which obviously I'm not, but... All right, 40 more to go. Oh, dude, I'm sweating. You call me Molly. Molly Renz 365 because I'm sweating right now.
Oh, yeah?
It's not good. Oh, dude. It's not good. Name your biggest upset game the Raiders win this year. Mine is the Miami game from B-Rabe. Kansas City. Can I go with the Chiefs again? That's an upset game. Though Miami in Miami, that's a much better football team.
Yeah.
Chug, let me go grab some water real quick. Yeah, I'm hurting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oy vey. Coming up, some more Raiders rumors. A list of questions that Mitch has for you around the offensive line, around the secondary, and around that wide receiver room. Who's impressing at those three positions? And can we see a surprise starter at one of those positions, either the offensive line, cornerback room, or there we go, or in the secondary? I forgot to turn off that one.
Oh,
We're all good.
It's all good. It is all good. All right, y'all. Let's get into some of these interesting new rumors here. Again, from AP, from the internet. There's been some people talking about some stuff. Max Crosby chimed in on something. We'll break all that down. If you're looking for some just win babies, you're in the right spot. We're going to get into a segment now here with some just win babies. Let me get to the right spot in my script, Chugs, and then we should be good to go. Rocket money, all cleared here. We got 450 people tuned in. Let's go. Let's get to 300 likes here. If you haven't already, helps us out a lot. If you're a part of the Silver and Black Hills, tell the people right now. Get those likes going here on the show. You good? Chugs is ready to go. Let's get it rocking here on the show. If you're looking for some just win babies, you're in the right spot. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we got the latest Raiders rumors. We're going to be talking about DJ Glaze. Will he start for the Silver and Black? Christian Wilkerson got some hype from Antonio Pierce on Monday and had a hell of a practice as well. Is he going to make the roster? And then Jacorian Bennett, is he ready to break out this season? One Raider superstar thinks that might be the case. So earlier on Monday, I made a video about a sub-battle with Raiders against Vikings. Our Vikings host said, well, wait a minute. I'm off until Tuesday, so that's when the actual battle has to begin. We're going up against the Vikings on Saturday, so guess what I'm doing here at Chat Sports? We're going up against them here as well. Help me take down Vikings now. We're in a sub-battle. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and join us when we go live an hour before kickoff against Minnesota. This is going to be a must-watch game. You got your quarterback battle with Gardner and AOC. You also got a quarterback battle there with Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. A lot of good competition. A lot of new faces around there, so make sure you're tuned in. A lot of prizes. We're going to have over 100,000 people, so hopefully you're watching with us. First one coming up here on the show, will DJ Glaze start this season for the Las Vegas Raiders? I'm going to give this one just win, baby. I'm going to say that it's a less than likely chance that it ends up happening. For new viewers out there, one just win, baby, think of it as a 25% chance of happening. If I give it 0 just win, babies, it's not going to happen. 2, 50, 3, 75. 4 just win, babies, believe it, baby, 100% that it's going to happen. The reason why I'm going to give this one only one just win, baby, is because I've liked what I've seen from DJ Glaze so far. So is Antonio Pierce. So is his coaching staff. And he's been working with the ones at right tackle more and more and more as this offseason has progressed. And he looked really good over the weekend. When you see that the coaching staff likes what they see in him, and when you see reports out there that the staff just wants to see more of him out there, I think that that's got to be an encouraging note. The other part about this is the Raiders love his versatility. They invested a high draft pick on him. Even though we had a 5th-round grade on him at Chat Sports, the Raiders took him in the 3rd round. And it might have been, a little bit to do with the fact that there was a run at offensive tackles when the draft ended up happening. But our new offensive line coach, James Craig, our team in general, we love the flexibility that this kid has. Like, I legitimately think that you could play him at every single offensive line position minus center. And for a rookie to be able to do that and have confidence to do that is pretty eye-popping. When you look at the Raiders' offensive line depth chart, there's a lot of good faces here, but I also think that there's a lot of underappreciated value from the depth perspective. Andres Pete, Cody Whitehair, and DJ Glaze are all reliable depth spots. And I think because Glaze has done so well, we haven't really heard too much about Dalton Wagner, which maybe it hurts him, maybe it doesn't hurt him in terms of making this roster. But I will say this. The question is, will DJ Glaze start this season? The reason why it's not impossible is because I do think that due to that versatility and due to the injuries of Colton Miller and Jackson Powers-Johnson, it could impact the O-line. I still am a believer that Thayer Munford is going to be the starting right tackle week 1, which is kind of how I am presenting this question. Can it change week 2, week 3, week 4? Yeah, absolutely. But I also am wondering, like, the best overall offensive line that we could put out there, like, you know, hear me out here. Let me paint this picture. Instead of just saying, all right, DJ's starting at right tackle, that means tough shit for Thayer, there's a part of me that's almost like, well, if I got to pick between Cody Whitehair and if Jackson Powers-Johnson is injured, why can't we at least think about the idea of kicking Thayer Munford over to the left side? And last season, when he played left tackle, he looked good. Munford has also played left guard back in his days, you know, at college, and has played guard in general back in his days at college, and is at times, you know, for the Raiders last season when need be. My point is, Munford is also a versatile player, and if this organization wants to see what Delmar DJ Glaze has got going forward, hey, if he earns the job and he takes it down, I'm on board with it. But my question here is this, because who do you trust more, Cody Whitehair or DJ Glaze? Now, some of you are like, well, wait a minute. Whitehair's playing left guard. Glaze is playing right tackle. The reason why this is important to me is because I would say if you look at the Raiders' starting offensive line, to me, in my mind, it is Colton Miller, and then it's Jackson Powers-Johnson, Andre James, Dylan Parham, Thayer Munford. After that 5, then there is the 6th guy. I think the 6th guy is Andres Pete from a left side perspective. But the reason why this brings up is because if you trust DJ Glaze more, then I would rather you put DJ Glaze at right tackle, you kick Thayer Munford over to left guard if Jackson Powers-Johnson isn't ready. Or do you just let Thayer Munford stay at right tackle, leave Cody Whitehair at left guard? Like, to me, that's that next man up. Who's the 7th offensive lineman? I think it's between one of these two guys here. So type 65 for Whitehair, or I want you to type 71 for DJ Glaze. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. You're about to get hit with YouTube bad break. Scroll on down. Give me your answer. My answer here, and I'm going to be real, it's not all that close. It's DJ Glaze. I want to see Glaze out there on the field way more than what I want to see Whitehair. He hasn't been good this offseason. That's Cody, that is, on the interior. Also, on top of that, like, he's 34 years old. Why would you not want to take a little bit more of a chance on a young kid and just see what he's got? I just want to see what he's got. Even if he's not as good as Cody Whitehair in year 1, I still think it's worth doing, and it's the right move because you have to see if Glaze can be that right guy in the future. Cody Whitehair ain't going to be the future of the Raiders. I hate to break it to you, but that one's just a fact. I was also talking to Glaze over the weekend, and he was telling me how much he enjoys going up against Max Crosby, how much he enjoys going up against this defense, and that he thinks it's getting better. Iron sharpens iron. That mentality of him saying the guy that he likes going up against the most is Max Crosby, that type of energy, that type of aura is definitely something that I think that this coaching staff looks at, and it's why DJ has continued to get more and more reps there with the ones. Coming up next here, an under-the-radar wide receiver that could make the team, a player that I think, you know, we've kind of looked at as a little bit of an afterthought on this show and maybe amongst the nation in general, that really good practice on Monday, continue to get some attention, and Antonio Pierce talked about him a little bit when he took the podium on Monday as well. I'll tell you who that player is in just a moment. If you like saving money, though, I want you to go check out Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. They have helped me save money. You can manage your budget. You can see your credit score, lower bills. I mean, all these are the reasons why you should do it. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with just a few taps. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. That's rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. I love my fiance a lot. However, she's not afraid to spend some money. And for me personally, I'm a busy guy, so staying on top of all my subscriptions, it's not easy. Being able to have them on one screen, I like it. Staying on top of your upcoming bills, it lets you cancel those unwanted subscriptions for you. Like, recently, we just found out that we have 2 Netflix accounts. Like, honest question to you. How many subscriptions do you think you have? All I want you to do is this. Look at how many subscriptions you have, or at least think you have. Go to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders, and you're going to be like, that is 3 times the amount of subscriptions I thought I had. They're just going to help you save some money. All those links are available to you all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's go to the next story here. It's around Christian Wilkerson, and will he make the Las Vegas Raiders 53-man roster? I'm going to go with a little bit of a bold take here. Maybe it's an unpopular one, but I'm going to give this one no just win, babies. I'm going to say tuck rule, tuck that. I don't see him making this team. Now, the reason why I'm bringing him up is because AP was asked about him on Monday, and he seemed very happy about his play. Wilkerson had a really good practice on Monday. He caught a nice touchdown ball from Aidan O'Connell and has kind of separated himself, and I do think has done a good job of taking the advantage of just being a guy that you can rely on. And when you're in a quarterback battle with Gardner, you're in a quarterback battle with Aidan, you need somebody that you can rely on that can catch the football, and he's got some, he's done that this season. When the ball's been thrown his way, he's caught it. Michael Gallup retired. It means somebody else gets an opportunity. Jalen Guyton has been on the PUP list. He practiced on Monday, but Wilkerson has taken advantage of that opportunity. Devontae Adams, his baby boy from at the moment that I'm making this video on Monday, hasn't been born yet. He's taken advantage of that opportunity. So that's 3 receivers that were above him that, you think about a guy like Wilkerson and some of these other UDFAs out there, like that helps them get some extra looks and get some extra reps, some extra eyeballs. And quite frankly, I think it might really help him out in the preseason because he's going to get some extra opportunities. Now, a few years ago, might have been last season actually, he made the 53-man roster, and he was the wide receiver 6. And I know it says Brock Bowers up here as slot. He's going to play slot, but he's going to be listed as a tight end. So that means when you look at Devontae, Jacoby, and Trey Tucker, there's a lot of other moving parts out there. And again, when I made this show, Jalen Guyton, he's no longer on the PUP list. But from Christian Wilkerson, Keelan Doss, there's 10 other receivers on this list. This is how I would rank the wide receiver 4 battle before Monday's practice, okay? When Antonio Pierce spoke to the podium and when Antonio Pierce was talking in general, this is how I would have done it. I would have had DJ Turner, Jalen Guyton, Randall Keaton, Alec Bachman, Tulu Griffin, Christian Wilkerson. After Monday's practice, and after every information, all the reporting, I would actually put Wilkerson now. I would probably put him at number 3. I would bump Randall Keaton up to 2, and I would drop Jalen Guyton down to 4. My point is, with Wilkerson showing out and showing up, I think that he's at least got to he's going to get brought up in this conversation. I still don't think, though, that he ends up making this squad. So let's play a little bit of a game here. If you had to pick one to keep from the names that are up on screen, are you going to go with Alex Bachman? Are you going to go with Christian Wilkerson? Are you going to roll with Tulu Griffin? Or are you going to go with Randall Keaton? Because if I'm the silver and black, I'm only going to keep 5 receivers because I'm so confident in my tight end group. DJ Turner is going to be the wide receiver 4, which then leaves you got one other receiver up there for grabs. The receiver that I think that the Raiders would end up keeping is number 82, Randall Keaton. And he just continuously moves up that depth chart. Antonio Pierce asked if he could work with the 2s on Monday. If you would have asked me, Mitch, who's the one UDFA receiver that ends up making this team? I would have said Tulu Griffin. And I put out a video on Sunday about the top 10 players that did not make my original 53-man roster that could make it. And I said Tulu's up there and he's the best chance. I also said, though, on Saturday that I was going to have a video that's going to go out on Sunday, and Keaton needs to be on that list, and Keaton needed to be in the top 5. Quite frankly, he's one of the most fun guys to watch right now as a UDFA, and I think he has the best chance to make this roster as an undrafted free agent. Let's go to the last story, though, here on the show, and it's around Jacorian Bennett, and is a breakout season going to happen for the second-year corner out of Maryland. I'm going to give this one 2 just win, babies, and I'm going to say people are talking. The guy that's talking is probably, when he talks, more Raider fans listen than anybody. And Max Crosby was asked on Sirius XM NFL radio, hey, man, like, who do you think is a player that's going to have a standout season? Somebody that didn't say breakout year, but to me, the way that Crosby talked, the way that the question was phrased, the easiest way to put it is breakout year. Crosby said Jacorian Bennett. And the reason why that's noteworthy is because Bennett is the cornerback 3 right now, and he's the expected starter. Brandon Faison's been battling some injuries. DeCamerion Richardson's been working in here and there, but it's mainly been Bennett next to Jack Jones, next to Nate Hobbs. When I saw Max Crosby said that, I had my tail in the front wagon a little bit because, you think about what's that Achilles heel on defense? What's our weakest link on defense? I think a lot of people would point the finger at Jacorian. If Bennett takes that next step, and if he looks like a player, that takes the step like a Malcolm Kuntz did, a player like Trevon Merrick, look out. We're going to have the best defense in the NFL. I already think we are. If this ends up happening, if he breaks out, it's a guarantee. It's a 4-just win, baby, that we're going to have the best defense in the NFL. When you look at his PFF numbers, though, from last season, 14 games played, 4 starts, had a 42.4 overall grade, run defense grade of 49.4, tackling at 44.1, and then a coverage grade of 41.1 overall. So, again, not great numbers, had to deal with Josh McDaniels, had to deal with some confidence issues. And I like Max saying that he believes in Jacorian because, to me, it's not a talent thing with Bennett. It is a mental thing, and it's him being able to find that confidence and find that swagger, which he obviously did not have last season when you look at these advanced coverage stats. I mean, you're giving up a quarterback rating against you of 102.5. With this improved defensive line that we have, it is absolutely going to help out number 0 for this upcoming season. And if Bennett breaks out, I'm telling you, like this video right now if you agree with this, the Raiders are going to have the best defense in the NFL if Bennett breaks out. We've been talking about Stephon Gilmore, Xavier Howard, Adoree Jackson, being able to find that other corner that just makes us be able to sleep a little bit better at night. If a second-year guy in Bennett goes out and shows out and is that dude, man, oh man, I would not want to go up against this defense because we're going to have a lot of swagger. You better believe that. So coming up here, the reason why Max saying what he did about Bennett, it's important. This Raiders organization obviously values what 98 says. Raider Nation obviously values what 98 says. But I think there's a lot more impacts in what he said that I haven't really quite gotten into yet, which I'm going to break down here in just a moment. If anybody loves Antonio Pierce, I got a brand new AP shirt that I want you to get your hands on. Go to chatsports.com/APlaw. This is a shirt made by Autumn Abyss, which I've worn a bunch of their stuff before on the show. If you like my Bo Jackson shirt that I wear at Techno Bowl, you'll like this one. I also have it's my Tom Flores. It's a white hoodie. It says Commitment to Excellence on it. This is made by them. And you showed up. We showed out. New chapter, new beginning, Antonio Pierce. That's this AP law. The AP law is hey, you showed up, we showed out. That's what the Raiders are going to do. That's what the nation is all about here. And if you like this shirt, you can pre-order it right now at that link that you see below. It's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's episode. For out in Vegas, you can't have a cotton shirt. This is a high-performance sweat-wicking technology shirt. I absolutely love them. Super comfortable. They also don't shrink in the dryer, which is a major, major win. That's also not me. All right, so here are why I think the Max prediction is important. This is why Max saying Jacorian as that breakout player is important, is because to me, that means Bennett is starting. You can't say Jacorian's going to break out or compare him to Malcolm Kuntz. You can't do that if you're Crosby unless you expect him to be the starter. So to me, I'm sitting back going, we know who that cornerback 3 is. It's Jacorian Bennett. The next thing is, Crosby's not a liar. And Crosby said some things last season that ruffled some feathers not last season, but last offseason where he was if AP's not the coach, I would at least think about getting traded elsewhere. I think he did that saying it because, he knows Mark doesn't want to get rid of him and he is, the face of this organization. But, Crosby has no reason to lie to anybody, and he gave that reason for an answer because he believed it. And if Crosby believes it, it's making me want to believe it a little bit more. I think it's that extra motivation for Bennett, second-year guy, looking for that confidence, looking for that swagger. And like I said earlier in the video, he's got talent. He might be the fastest corner we have on this team. He might be faster than Nate Hobbs. He might be faster than Jack Jones. But if all you need is a little bit of confidence, as a man, man-to-man, whatever you do in life, if you don't have confidence do it, you're just wasting your time. Flat out. If you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you're just wasting your time. This coaching staff listens to Max. And because they listen to Max, it makes me wonder if they're not going to potentially sign a corner because, you look at that $34.5 million that we have right now in salary cap space, and a lot of people are like, Mitch, are we going to sign Stephon Gilmore? Are we going to sign Xavier Howard? If Max Crosby is saying that he's going to be the breakout player, that makes me think that we're not going to sign a corner because, well, why would you bring in somebody? Why would you do it if your star player is saying, hey, that's our breakout guy. That's going to be the dude that takes the next step. So, I don't know if the Raiders are going to potentially sign a cornerback now. It's something that this organization has to think about. So, from top to bottom, Max saying that about Jakorian tells me that he's going to be starting, that Max is legitimately confident about the situation Jakorian is in, and that if the staff listens to Max as well as I think they do, I don't know if you're going to go out and sign a corner anymore. If Crosby's good with that guy, I'm going to imagine the staff's good with that guy. And maybe that's been the holdup all along of why the Raiders are and are not making any moves to that DB group, because AP is, from what he said, very pleased by the defensive backs this offseason. We got a question coming in here from Josh. What's up, man? Do you think either quarterback plays this preseason game? This question came in before Antonio Pierce did decide that both QBs are going to play. So, yes, they are going to play. Here's my question, though. What?
It's a great analysis.
Real question is, though, how many preseason quarters should Minshew and AOC play?
I think
Combined.
In game one?
There's 12 quarters to be played in the preseason, unless you're with the Texans or Bears. 12 quarters to be played. How many combined quarters?
8.
I think that's a good number. And I said it before, where if there's still a doubt of who the starting QB is, you keep rolling them out there.
Out of 12, let us know in the comment section. Out of the 12 quarters in the preseason, how many should AOC or Minshew be out there?
I would say Carter Bradley and Anthony Brown should get 4 quarters combined. I think that's fair. I think you give each guy a quarter in the first game, and you give each guy a quarter in the third game. That's if, you know what the QB situation is. Outside of that, if it was up to me, I'm going to roll out there. Let's just say, Aidan's got quarter 1, then you give Minshew quarter 2 in the preseason game. Next week, I'm flip-flopping it. I would give Aidan or Gardner quarter 1, Aidan quarter 2, Gardner 3, Aidan 4. The following week, do exactly what you did in week 1 if you know your answer. If you're still unsure of the quarterback answer, I'm rolling both guys out there until I figure it out. I don't need to see Anthony Brown. I don't need to see Carter Bradley. You need to figure out your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Let them roll out there. It's probably more than what they're going to do. If I had to actually guess how many quarters combined they're out there for, I'll say 6. 6 quarters, combined, which I think each guy is going to get 1 quarter. Dude, 6 is even high. It might even be less than that. It might be close to 5. It'll be fun, though. I can't wait for this preseason to go down. There's a lot to be proved, man. A lot to be proved. What?
Just this, if anybody's been following along on the Twitter craziness of Brandon Ayuk today.
Some big NFL news. This is kind of interesting. Free agent offensive lineman Connor Williams visited the Ravens today. So Williams has been battling some injuries this offseason.
I thought he was almost close to signing with the Seahawks.
According to Adam Schefter, he is said to be considering the Ravens and Seahawks proposals right now. Should make a decision soon. That's according to Schefter.
Interesting.
So somebody go tell Teej.
By a Ricky who claims that he's pretty on Twitter.
Nope.
He's like, my back's up against the wall with this Ayuk stuff.
Yep. I'll say this. It's been the amount of smoke that's been around the Ayuk thing. It's been interesting. Ricky's gotten a lot of stuff right, but this one's starting to get annoying. Honestly, it's starting to get annoying at this point. I don't know if he does have it. If he doesn't, bottom line, something needs to happen soon. Because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing all these updates. Something needs to happen soon, Chugs. That's all I'm going to say, man.
All I know, Justin Simmons is a Texan. It's going to happen.
Maybe you're right.
Even though there was a report by a credible guy on Twitter, an actual credible guy, who was like, the Texans offered him a contract.
Yeah.
Aaron Wilson then was like, I'm hearing from certain sources the Texans have not offered him a contract, which I'm thinking somebody within the organization was like, we don't want all of our stuff out there. Sure. Can you throw a smoke screen, or can you say we never said that?
Yeah. Conflicting reports. You see it happen all the time where there's NFL teams that, it's why sometimes I laugh when beat reporters do say that stuff because sometimes they're told by the organization to say it. Like, I don't work for the Raiders. The Raiders have nothing to do, like, they don't reach out to me and say X, Y, Z. Sometimes the Raiders probably reach out to some of those beat reporters and say, hey, this is what you got to say.
We know that you know the truth, but you cannot tell the truth to everyone.
And sometimes that happens. Now, I've talked to some beat reporters in the past, not for the Raiders, but for other NFL teams. And some guys, they're like, we don't report it. Some guys do because it's a journalism thing. Like, you want to take credit or not credit. You want to be credible. And, for some of the misses that our beat reporters have had of the past few seasons, I wouldn't blame some of those guys for not wanting to put it out there. But I got a super chat coming in from Rebel. What's up, Rebel? Who would stop the Giants? Mitch's legs, March said. So Marsh put out a thing on Twitter. It was like Daniel Jones and 3 other Giants receivers. And it was like, who would stop this offense? I said Daniel Jones. My legs also would stop it. If I can't even run anymore. It's bad. The other day, Chuck and I tried to sprint with Chuck. Popped my hammy. A little bit, just a little bit. Not like I'm tight right now, but yeah, I am. Real tight. It's amazing to me. Like it's the thought of at any moment you could just sprint. Now, genuinely, like if somebody was chasing me, in the back of my mind, I'm going, I can't sprint like I want to. I gotta do a nice jog as somebody's sprinting at me. It's not good. What's up, Lance Smith? Any update on Powers? Thought it was only he had a stinger. Antonio Pierce today said status quo. He said status quo on Colton, status quo on JPJ. It was only a stinger, at least that's what Chugs was told from last week. LA Crash Dog.
I was told part of the reason why he's not playing, at least at the start of training camp, was he had a stinger in his elbow that made his arm feel numb. And they were being extra cautious around it.
Yeah. What was the big news earlier from OC Raider? I'd say the biggest news today was... No?
Talking about...
Oh, I got you. I mean, somebody got carted off today at practice, Jeff Foreman. OC, it's just... I'll be real. It's a bang it's a bang competition at Chat Sports. We said that we would be able to do something first, and we were able to do it first. So that's just kind of the behind the scenes look at it. But you guys helped us accomplish something today.
This is a conversation that Mitch usually has on his Zoom calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to put it. I don't know if I'll do a Zoom call this week. Just because I won't be live tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. We'll start doing more Zooms like once the season gets rolling in here, but I hope OC, you can also DM me though. Noah, could we trade for CeeDee Lamb if he becomes available? No. Noah, that one's not going to happen. If the Raiders are going to trade for any receiver like a blockbuster, like, there's you have a better chance trading for Brandon than CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb would be more expensive. I do think, though, the most likely receiver that the Raiders could potentially trade for, and if you want to go check out a video that I did, I did a video on some, like, potential trade targets. Realistic answers are Allen Lazard would be an option to think about. Robert Woods could be an answer to think about. There was 2 other receivers that I talked about in that video. Darius Slayton from the Giants is a guy to think about. Like, if we trade for a receiver, it's not going to be for one of the best.
I think it's more likely that the Raiders wait until roster cutdown day, and then one of these guys who maybe is a surprise cut candidate or a surprise cut for the team, like a Robert Woods, like some of these other guys, the Raiders just go in and scoop them up. Like, there's another guy on the Texans, which he looked really good in the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, Xavier Hutchinson.
Yeah, he did.
Second-year guy out of Iowa State. He's on that roster bubble. He's wide receiver 5 or 6.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make the final 53 and they try to put him on the practice squad, I think a team snatches him up.
I mean, perhaps. I mean, he did look good. I can actually remember watching him play. I was like, that kid looks pretty damn good. Let's go to Rodney. Trade for Aaron Rodgers, 2nd round and a 4th this year, next year a 3rd. I don't see how you think that gets that done. I don't understand how you think that gets done. Like, yeah, he's coming off an Achilles. He's still, regarded as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You're missing some ones in there, man. Let's go to Jeremy Cole. Olympics-themed question. If football was in the Olympics, who would be your starting players for Team USA? Real one for life. Thanks for all you guys do. Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. Justin Jefferson. The real question would be, who would agree to it? Like, honestly, who would agree to it / who would even be allowed to do it? But if I can just build my dream team here, I'm going to go Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. You ain't stopping that wide receiver trio. At tight end, you're not going to like it. Travis Kelce. I mean, why would you not go with Travis Kelce? Christian McCaffrey at running back. I think the problem with this whole Olympics football question is all the best players in the NFL, majority of them, are, American or would play for Team USA.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. But I think the real question is if you had to make a team that's outside of the country, if you did Team USA versus the world. Oh, man. According to Jordan Schultz, there is currently no trade in place for Brandon Ayuk to the Steelers. I am told the 49ers have had discussions in recent days regarding a potential Ayuk trade with several teams, but as of this post, nothing is finalized. Jordan Schultz.
Trying to steal Ricky's thunder.
I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, Schultz definitely has some sources as well.
He's going to explode if an Ayuk trade does happen.
Who?
Harry.
Oh, dude. It's going to be a mess. That white table is going to get more white.
I didn't even notice Sperry was here.
Yeah. Good thing Sperry crosses his legs.
You see that Schultz report?
It's going to be a mess.
It's Jover! It's Jover!
It's going to be a mess.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not going to be good.
You see the Schultz report? It's Jover.
I don't know. I don't know what to believe, dude. I don't know what to believe.
You have that Pittsburgh glow on you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. Did you get any from Auntie? Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Before we head out again one more time, because this is next week. This is,
dude,
a week and a couple days from now. We'll be eating
a
delicious dinner at Joel's Chophouse with hopefully a lot of y'all in the chat. So if you haven't already, I'm going to put it in uno mas.
So we're not doing a duck race today. My dad just sent me 20 and said, put me in the duck race. We're not doing one. So I'm glad you listened to the show.
Your dad's not watching. He just knows around this time, and you're just like, oh, you lost.
Yep, sorry.
Sorry, Dad.
Thanks for the $20.
Good luck next time. Me and Alex are going out to dinner tonight.
I mean, if I get dinner for $20, I probably would. Good. Though I did a deal yesterday for Domino's, which I don't know why. I was just craving pizza, and
not a sponsor.
And I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I go on Uber Eats, and it was if you spend $10, we'll give you a free medium 2-topping pizza. So I was like, all right, I bought $10 worth of wings, got a free pizza. So I got pizza and wings last night for $12. After tip, it was $15 on Uber Eats. I got some pizza at home. Pretty excited about it. Probably going to crush some pizza when I get home. It will be better. This dinner will definitely be better than my Domino's, though.
Oh. it's not even close.
Domino's compared to Joel's is me going home and me going to Chuck's Food for Farmer's Dog and eating that instead. That's the comparison. This dinner's going to blow y'all's mind. And somebody actually asked me the other day, they were like, but it's so late for dinner. I don't want to eat that late. Just come have some drinks. It's a nice bar. It's a beautiful steakhouse.
The drinks are I'm telling you, if you're like, oh, it's too late for dinner, drinks and dessert.
Yep.
Their dessert, the key lime pie.
It's 3 key lime pies in one.
It was so good.
Though I don't know if he'll have it because I think it was seasonal. Now maybe they will again, but
if
they have the key lime pie,
all the desserts were fantastic.
What was the one thing? Baked Alaska, right? That thing was nuts. I never had
I've
anything
never
like
had that before.
Never had anything like that before in my life. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I planned on getting baked Alaska. Come on, man. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody that tuned in to today's show. I do want to give a few more shout outs here real quick to everybody that got a little bit wet and wild today. Cass Joey was the MVP. Huge shout out to Common Raider. Much love to you. OC for being a real one. Our August Bang competition as it stands right now. We got a tie between Ed Robbins and Noah Santana. Each have 6. Cass Joey's got 3. Yoda Common got 2. And then a nice little 4-way tie between OC, Jamari, Angel, Jason Goots. Before I get out of here, reminder again that I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I know I usually always go live on Tuesday, but Alex and I, we got a wedding tasting to do. And I really promised her that I'd be super involved in a lot of that stuff. So hopefully you guys understand. If any breaking news does happen, Chugs has got you covered. Jeremy is going to make a video, though, on the training camp news and notes that y'all need to know for tomorrow. I am going to get you a video bright and early tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But the next time that you'll see me live here on the show is going to be Thursday. We're going to do Thursday happy hour because I'm off on Friday. And then it's Raiders game day against the Vikings on Saturday, man. I cannot flippin' wait. From me, from Jeremy Chugs, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.